Aloha, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's author Joe Holt. We have another fireside chat for you today. And in case you don't know, what that means, I interview other DLive streamers. We talk about how they got started, what got them streaming, who they are, where they're from, anything they want to talk about, really. But I'm just trying to humanize streamers, right? Because so many of us are just little faces in the corner of the window. And that's not good enough. I want to know. I want to know. And this guy, my guest today, Ricardo Rodriguez, I know this guy's got secrets. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, Joe? It's an honor to be here on your show, man. How's it going, man? Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate that, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you that don't know Ricardo Rodriguez yet, he is a Brazilian streamer on DLive. Is Portuguese your first language?
Yes, Portuguese.
Okay,
Brazilian
so
Portuguese.
first language Portuguese, speaks English incredibly well, streams primarily in English, but also speaks Portuguese to his fellow um, Brazilians. I guess that's the right word. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, my friend. The very
All
first
right, brother.
there's only two questions on this show. The first question is your name at Ricardo underscore Rodriguez. How'd you come up with it? What's it mean?
Yeah, that's because I'm a craftsman also.
Mm.
So I make silver coin rings, and the to make it easy for my customers and people who follows me on other social media to find me here, I decided to use my real name, the same name I use in all social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Sure.
So that's why I didn't have come up with a nickname like I just tried no, because I wasn't expecting like do the kind of stream I do, right?
Mm.
So I was just expecting to do some crafting streams
Mm-hmm.
randomly. So that was the best choice for me.
I get it, man. I'm author Joe Holt. Joe Holt is my name. So
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to go for it. We are the brand, right? Like as a streamer, your face, you are the brand. So to use your own name, I mean that's okay. Makes sense.
yes, exactly.
All right, so the second question is when did you start streaming? Not just on DLive, if you streamed other places, let me know. But when did you start streaming? And kind of at the same time, what is it that got you into streaming?
Yeah, there's like a funny story because I used to just for the past 2 years go live on Instagram to do my craft. I
Mm.
don't even consider that like streaming because there's no work involved on that. I would just turn my camera, my phone on, and I would be working and talk with my customers.
Mm.
But I like music, like normally streaming, I'm listening to some Dire Straits, Ramones, or something like that.
Mm.
And Instagram start to shoot my stream down
Mm.
because copyright things and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit pissed, and I was checking some random news on YouTube, and I come across a Tim Pool news, and he was talking about PewDiePie maybe go to a platform called DLive, and it's a live stream platform. And I didn't even understand the concept of live streaming. I never been on other platforms. I didn't know about any stream platform. So I came around and I said, okay, I'll check it. And then I decided to put the same name, Ricardo Rodriguez, and then I try out some craft streams, right? Do my craft here. I did like 3 or 4 times, but nobody from my Instagram, Brazilian people, my customers, they came around. Nobody came around,
Mm.
and but I like DLive because it's a place that when you're a viewer, you're part of the stream because all the streamers they pay attention on you, they talking to you straight up
Mm-hmm.
differently than on other platforms that they just there doing their things, and you just talk with another people on the chat. You're not really part of the stream. So I give up all the other platforms, even YouTube. I was just being around DLive all the time, and I made good friends, and I start to help bigger channels as a moderator, and I start to learn, and I made lots of friends and a good network.
Mhm.
And some friends, they were saying like, dude, you speak English and you have a bunch of stories, you live in overseas, why don't you do some chatting? And maybe you doing some chatting, more people would come around and see your craft.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh man, it's been over 4 years. I haven't speaking English with nobody, and I don't know if it's gonna work. But some friends is still like pushing that idea, pushing that idea. I say, all right. So I'm not selling much. I'm a little bit stressed, so I do need talking to someone. So if I can come live and for one night, I just hold a conversation in another language with one person, I'll feel pretty good about that. So it will be like an extra strength to keep going my life.
Mhm.
So one day I decided, I didn't know much. I was using OBS. It was all the setups were like a mess. It was very laggy, but yes, I come here and I talk with like a couple of friends for all night. Like I stream like long hours.
Mhm.
Since the first night was like 8 hours, and it kept going like that, and I found out that I like it. Like those late patients you find in life, something that you never imagined you would ever like, and suddenly you just see you like it, and yes, I start like I enjoy it, and the channel start to grow, and I start to learn more about all the technicalities, because there's a lot of things involved on that to
For sure.
make it work properly, and also you gotta learn how to handle conversations, because it gotta be a good environment for everybody that's around you.
Mhm.
So it gotta be in the same way. Gotta be like underway that new people want to join it, but you can mess up with the people that been supporting you all the time. So it's a very thin line, but it's something that you learn as you do. There is no other way, I guess. There's no theory about that. You gotta practice that every day and show up every day and do your thing.
Now, when you mentioned crafts, you've mentioned all sorts of things. So I've actually got some notes here in front of me. So when was the first time you went live? Was that YouTube?
No, first time I went live
Hmm.
crafting
Hmm.
was on Instagram. It was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Instagram. I didn't. You know what? I guess I didn't know you could go live on Instagram. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But it's totally different. You don't
Hmm.
need any application, any program, anything. You just turn your camera, go live, and people go on the chat talking to you, and it's like it's the other way around the phone, like it's
Wow.
horizontal.
Yeah.
And yes,
Well, that's cool.
so there's no way to put. You can put music or anything. It's just a chat, and you answer.
Right.
You're reading that.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, that
that's cool. And then so you said did you do YouTube live after that? After Instagram?
nah, I never did any other platform live.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
So when did you come to DLive?
So I got here like on the week before PewDiePie came.
Okay.
I don't know the date exactly, but it was one week he come. I saw the
Oh.
news that he made come, and I said, "Oh, check it out this platform, cause maybe a solution for my live craft."
Hmm. Now you're crafting. What was it that you were crafting? You told me earlier, but I didn't understand.
Yes, I get like antique silver coins, like
Mm-hmm.
this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Brazilian silver coin from 1863.
Wow.
It's almost 200 years coin. So I turned that into rings without losing the original details. So I
Wow.
just turned like a two dimensions object on the third. three dimensions. Like this one is from a Canadian 50-cent silver, 1945. I
Yeah.
don't know if the camera it's
It's a little
okay.
fuzzy, yeah, but I get the idea for sure.
All right.
And so you
So
turn coins into rings.
yeah, silver coins.
So you're a silversmith. You're a silver artist.
Yes, half
Wow.
silversmith, half alchemist, because it's a little unusual way to craft, as you gotta keep the details. So it's a different timing, like annealing the silver, because you cannot overheat or it's gonna melt the details, but
Mm.
you cannot just underheat or you're gonna crack it. So it's kind of a. I like to consider myself like a half an alchemist, just because I handle these things in an unusual way. You know.
Hmm. How did you learn how to do that?
So I learned that I was living in New Zealand
Hmm.
and was a hobby because when you're an immigrant, you're always doing the hard job, right? Working hard, normally in site construction. I worked like 4 years with shipping containers, fixing and washing them, and then I moved to Christchurch after earthquakes, and I started painting.
Hmm.
Um, so I need something to just to chill. I'm a mountain biker also since 1993. But
Nice.
sometimes on the winter you cannot mountain bike much because too much snow and all that.
Right.
So I need to find something else just to chill. And I start to learn how to turn coins into rings. I used to do just as a hobby, never sell anything. And but when I came back to Brazil, that was in 2014. Uh, I was already older. Was already 34 years old. The unemployment rates were skyrocketing,
Mm.
still pretty high now. So I say, oh, you know what? Like I've been through so many things in life. I already been like a homeless and all that. So why not try something? Why not like, oh well, there is no jobs, but it doesn't mean there is no work. I can, I can give myself a job. I can get myself to work every day if I want. So I decided to start that, and I start little. I wasn't doing silver coins, just nickel coins, and selling like very cheap, $35, $30.
Hmm.
And then I went by all more specific tools like hydraulic press, a coin ring stretcher,
Mm.
sent a project to make my dies and all that.
Hmm.
And then I started to work with silver, and yes, it was a good move. Like was something that like I think like it's good to always have a hobby because it can save your life sometime. Because a hobby is something that you willing to spend time and money if you have some to learn something. You
Hmm.
know, like and you do that because you enjoy doing that. So you tend to learn much more because it's different. You learn something because you have to, then will learn something because you like it, you enjoy it. So you get better when you learn about things you enjoy it, and you'll be
Sure.
more dedicated to that without feeling tired or anything like that. You're always relaxing. It's like as much as you do, better you feel.
Hmm. So do you use the entire coin? Or are you cutting like part
Yes,
of the center out or something?
I just give it a little punch on the center. It's like about half-inch punch. Like I can show you the thing. So you get like this punch and die set.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You put the coin between,
Hmm.
and normally I punch like a half-inch punch to start to turn that. So then you gotta choose if you wanna heads outside or inside, tails inside, outside, you
Mm.
know.
Hmm.
So it's like always like that. The ring will be like tails outside and head inside or all the way around.
So how do you sell these? Where's your market?
Oh, I I I post everything I make on Instagram
Hmm.
because I only sell here in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
And when people want to buy it, I put on a website. It's like a local Amazon, right?
Hmm.
Works just like Amazon. So Yeah, and then I just post there. I used to straight away posting over there, but it's not really good. It's good like because I like to make like bespoke stuff, made to measure,
Mm-hmm.
make it for the person.
Sure,
So
made
as
to
as
order.
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
as I have made so many to see my Instagram. I don't know how many, probably 100.
Hmm.
So people can see the one they like, and then we can negotiate how it's gonna do, and because depending of the size of the person finger,
Hmm.
then I gotta find the right size of a coin. Because if you stretch too much, the design is not gonna look good, or we're gonna
Right.
lose all the details.
That's
So
it.
I like to make like a personal job.
I'm impressed because I'm 10 years in college for art. I've been making art a long time, and it seems like I've never done metal work, and it seems like I would consider an impossible task to melt metal, right, and hammer and shape, and then and still maintain the design perfectly. That's how many. Okay, how about this? How many coins did you do incorrectly trying to learn how to do it correctly? Is there a steep
Oh, a
learning
bunch,
curve?
man,
A bunch. Oh, okay. I was just curious.
bunch,
So
a
people,
bunch. I have lots of scrap silver here.
so if somebody's listening and you're like, hey, I've got this favorite coin and I want to turn it to a ring. Don't start with that coin. Start with
I don't. Yes, normally I don't do these jobs. Like recently, come a lady and she say, "Oh my, I got this coin from my father. He passed away, and all this and that." I say, "Look, there is a risk to lose that coin.
hmm
So why not? We get another one. I try find another one is the same, or you choose another one because if it has like a more than a money value on that, this sentimental value, something that you got from someone special,
hmm
you shouldn't put that at the risk. Just
mm
just keep it. I'm much like that. Like I'm not 100% on the money track when I'm doing that
hmm
because I totally understand. Like, if I have a coin, this is just a nickel coin, but I bought that coin. That coin was 100 years old. I was 8 years old. It's a coin from 1989, and I still having this coin as a coin. I'll never try and make it a ring
mm
because it was my first coin that I ever collect in my life. Because I used to collect coins also. I
hmm
always should be on the numismatic thing. So I totally understand why the value you have on that. So it's worth more than money. So I don't do this kind of job
mm
because there is a risk. It's a low risk, of course. Now I'm very experienced on that, but it's still a risk, and sometimes it's better don't take a risk.
How long does it take you on average to turn a coin into a ring?
I would say if it's like walk in liberty, 50 cents walk in liberty,
Yeah.
I would take it between 2 to 4 hours. But if it's a coin like a Morgan dollar, I'll take a day,
Mm.
maybe a day and a half, because it all depends on the thickness of the coin and the diameter and all that. Because like even through a nail, as you cannot overheat that, but it's still because the silver and gold and copper they are non-ferrous metals, right? So it means that it's a metal that you can anneal, you can heat that, you can quench on the cold acid or cold water, and they still soft.
Mm.
So you can work on that metal for a few minutes, and the molecules, the atoms, they're not that rigid, and so when I'm in it, and the coins, there are different alloys, right? You got like a 50% silver, 90% silver, pure silver. This from Brazil, it's like a 917 uh, alloy. So, and they are more thick, less thick. So my way to measure the right point that I'm annealing, it's by the color it gets. So I normally turn the lights off every time I'm gonna anneal. It's like if you see my apartment from outside, it looks like a fucking disco place because the lights are blinking all the time. Because I'm gonna turn it off, and I know like a Morgan dollar guy to be like a bright red. If it's a lower alloy, like a 50%, can be like almost orange. You can hit a lot more. If it's a pure silver, like those pure rounds, so it just starts to get like a dull red. It's like a very, very dark red. It's already enough. So that's why I say like I'm a kind of an alchemist, because many things are more on the how you feel doing that. You don't have like a theoretical way to explain that, and that's the only way to learn also as you make it. So sometimes you're gonna overheat some coins. Like I remember first time I got like a Kennedy 64, and I was annealing and I was all good, and one time it was just a little bit over and got all the bubbles around. So I lost.
Wow, so I've seen your stream a number of times, but you've always chatting. So do you do streams where you're making the rings and you're showing your crafting?
I have done few,
Mhm.
3 or 4, and I'll probably do one with this coin, but I don't think the cameras I have will make will show the details as it's supposed to be.
Oh, I see what
So
you mean.
I will record. I'm doing that with a better camera. So I'll record the full work, and then I'll play that on the stream, and then I can talk about that. And I think it'll be better also because when I'm crafting, one thing that is this blinking light stuff, and another thing I'm too focused on that. I enjoy it, so I'll probably forget about the chat totally.
Yeah.
So I guess it's better like I get the job done and I'll be here available to just talk through the process with everybody that comes around. So
Yeah,
I'll
actually,
probably craft that this ring by Monday, and maybe Monday night I'll be streaming about that.
I actually learned something a couple days ago from a DLive streamer. They, you've heard the phrase IRL stream, like in real life.
Yes.
So I don't really
Yeah.
like that phrase IRL because we're IRL right now. You know what I mean? But I think it should
Yeah.
be called outside streams, not like IRL streams. Anyway, so they're doing an IRL stream on a farm, and they've got goats and they got chickens and they're feeding stuff, right? And they're walking around the property, but they're also chatting in chat. And it was blowing my mind. Like how are they're clearly not at a keyboard, right? You could see they're walking around feeding the goats and chickens. So what I found out from them is they actually film the show, then they play it on the computer, use a screen capture through OBS to make it look like they're live, and then talk in the chat while the video's playing. And it's brilliant. Like, I think that's brilliant. You're playing a pre-recorded show as live, but you're in the channel commenting on it as it happens. I like that. So maybe you could film yourself making the ring, then play the video, capture it with, screen capture with OBS, show that as what, live, and then chat, talking or typing.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just set up a camera one the way that can get all my tools on my workbench, and I'll film the whole process, and I'll be here talking. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Because
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I enjoy your streams, and I have to tell you, and this is definitely your fault. Some nights after after I watch your stream, I'm trying to fall asleep, and all I can hear is shiny disco balls and see you dancing. It's so catchy, man. It gets into your head. I love it. I love.
Yes, man. That that's it's something that like come with the learning of the streaming, because like I told you, when I started, I just want to talk to people, just to chill out, right? And but people become very supportive with me, and streaming became my main stream of income. I've been the past 6 months. I've been paying my bills out of what I get on DLive.
Wow.
So uh, so I was talking with a good friend, Otto Works,
Hmm.
and about like how to make the stream look better. A good overview of the page, and
Hmm.
I like those baroque uh, themes on the background because
Hmm.
my hometown that's lots of baroque art
Hmm.
because it's a kind of back to the imperial times. And we're talking about the outlets, and then I start to think, and I say, okay, there's this outlets for all the support people gives, and how could I show now what could be a small sign of appreciation that like no some way to give something back.
Hmm.
So I'm not a dancer. I'm a very shy guy, to be honest. And I said, okay, I'll do something that I wouldn't do in the real life. I'm gonna find some nice disco uh, tunes. I'll edit that, and I'll make a little silly dance, and people like it.
I
I,
do.
I,
I
I was
love it.
surprised that
Yeah. Why were you
people really like it.
surprised? Why were you surprised?
Yeah, because I'm not a dancer, right? I just thought it was like a very silly stuff, but I didn't. Was it's just like was the only idea I come with, so I was like, oh wow.
I
But
mean,
yeah, people like it, and I enjoy it too.
it is silly, but it's fun. That's the people like, okay, here's the thing, Ricardo, that I absolutely love about you and why I wanted to have you on the show. You have great energy. You have great eyes. You can tell your eyes you're a very kind person, right? You're a very nice person, and you have great fun, right? And a little donate like a lemon is a penny, right? An ice cream is 10 cents. But these aren't large amounts of money you're getting, but you're still entertaining. You're still like, putting on a show. And I don't. I think there are some folks that get into streaming thinking, "Hey, I'm going to be rich and famous," right? And that's why they do it. And that's the wrong. That's the wrong approach, right? You're as a live streamer, you are an entertainer, right? People can watch TV, they could watch videos, like movies, right? There's all kinds of things they could be doing. If they're choosing to watch you live stream, it's because you're entertaining them, right? And so you have this incredible gift of just conversation, and with the little dances you throw in. I've hung out with you for hours, and it's been entertaining the whole time.
Yes, man, and I think I've been talking with lots of people about streaming, especially from my country. They discovered the live recently,
Hmm.
and the questions they are about like how to grow your channel, how can you make so much money, man, and all things like that. Because on the Brazilian currency, what I make, it's enough to pay all my bills, man, every month. If I make like a 25,000 linos in the month,
Mm-hmm.
I pay all my bills.
Yep.
You see streamers making 25 on one live stream, right? So what I tell them, I say, dude, if you're starting thinking about making money, grow your channel, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I like to be straight up because I don't like to feed people with false dreams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Say, dude, if you enjoy play your game, enjoy that, and enjoy do that, talking to people, you just come and stream and have your time, because you gotta be grateful for people spend time with you, because the most valuable asset we all have in life is the time. So if they spending time with you, you should be grateful for that. Anything else, it's a plus. But you gotta be very, very grateful for people taking a little bit of their lives that they could be doing anything else, and they
Mm-hmm.
spend it with you.
Yeah. Well, man, there's so many questions. Okay, hold on. Lena, Lemon, time. There's so many questions. I'm trying to keep track of them all, but all right. So you said for the last, was it 5 months you've been paying your bills by live streaming on DLive? About
Yeah,
that?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started doing that with Lino, right? And then they switched to a new site token IDA with lemons. Did that affect you? Did that affect how much money you were making?
Not really. Not really.
Okay. So people seem to
Cause
just be able to handle that transition quite easily.
yeah, I think so. I think so. Cause there's ups and downs, but it's been like that even when I was Lino too.
Hmm.
So uh, yeah, I think it didn't change much, especially because it's so many people like from so many different places. And as I say, like when you swap the currency, it's 4 per 1. So $1 is $4 here.
Ah.
So it's a lot more for me.
Hmm.
That's why I say like 20,000 linos in a month. It's uh it's a lot of money. No, it's not a lot of money. I'm not getting rich, but I get everything paid. No,
Well, and
nothing over two.
see, I think that's a good thing to talk about, Ricardo, is if you're able to pay your bills and fill your belly, right, and do what you need to do,
Yeah.
that's that's a lot of money, right? Like if you can do what you want
Yes,
to do,
exactly.
then that's amazing, right? So
Yeah.
that's something I learned. I'm 41 now. It took me a while to learn that, which is sure you could go make a bunch of money, but why? Do you need that extra? Like you're not going to be like having free time to spend your money if you're focused on just making money, right? But
Yes.
to know what you need, know how much you need to be happy, and then just do that and spend the rest of your time doing whatever you want to do. That sounds awesome, especially the way you've done it because now you like live streaming, you like chatting, it's obvious. So you're actually paying your bills doing the things that you like, and you have the free time to do extra amazing things.
Yes, and I also like I'm relaxing every time I come here. It's like it's a used to be a free therapy. No, come
Hmm.
here and talk to you guys. And now I'm getting paid to do therapy, right? Come here the end of the day, talk to everybody, just chill out. Doesn't matter how my day goes. I know I'm gonna come live on DLive and everything's gonna pass. And also, like you said, if you get enough to get your bills done, you have enough to keep your side projects going.
Hmm.
Like I was saying, we on the crisis here. Nobody's buying jewelry right now because in the crisis, the last thing people want to buy is a fucking jewelry. But I don't have being on DLive. I don't have to get like a regular job and stop to do my craft. So I still can have my craft. I still can dedicate my time in the afternoon. I always stay, talk with customers, try to find coins, and always I have something to do.
Hmm.
And just holding to the time that when the money flows back again and that business, maybe that business will make me rich. I don't care. If I get rich, awesome. I'm not afraid of money, you know? But I don't get that focus like I have this and I need this right now.
Right.
So I'm uh, so just enough. It's much more than enough when you're able to do more with less. You say you're 41 and it took time to learn. I'm 39. I took time to learn too, man.
Hmm.
I used to have been the fucking very good times getting good money and I always been broke. And now I just have enough and I'm never broke. And that was a difficult thing to learn because nobody teaches how to handle money. They teach you a bunch of things, but
Yeah.
not about money and not how to be frugal with things and how to filter what's really important for you and what is just you spending money and time for the approval of somebody else.
Right.
And that's a big problem we have here in my culture. I was talking about that yesterday with a Brazilian fella. That it's amazing how even on such a crisis you're being here, you see how much people is spending on the fucking weekends drinking and buying like expensive brand clothes, and it's sad because it looks good until like 25, 30, but when you after 30 and you just dress well and you spend time on the bar, spend money, you just look silly,
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, and most of the people just learn that on the hard way. I think I just learned on the hard way. I never spend much with these things, but I used to go out a lot and drink a lot and all these things that I don't do anymore. But this money game is a complicated thing because it's not complicated. They make it seems complicated because they put so many things to waste your time, your money, and the only true things that they say is like time is money, but not because no, it doesn't mean money, paper money. It means like time is the most valuable thing you have in your life, and you gotta be very cautious how you spend your time. Like one of, because DLive it helps me to become a better person. If you ask me what DLive gave to you that it's more worth, it's like to be a better person. So I try to like dress better, spend less money. I started to every time when I go around YouTube, and sometimes there's those political ideological topics that are very picky because there's something that is made to like trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
So instead to click on that channel, I see how long is that video. Oh, it's a 10 minutes video, and then I found a fucking DIY 10 minutes, and I'm gonna learn something. Even it's
Nice.
about something that I don't have, like how to fix a fucking baby trolley wheel. I don't have a baby, I don't have a baby trolley, but or whatever. It's better I learn how to fix that than I spend my time getting angry about something that I get no power over that. No, like I really like the historic philosophy. You just should care about things you have control of, and
Mm-hmm.
you only have control of our mind and how things, what things and how things are gonna get into your head. So and it's a learning that I start like since I start to do these checking streams, because I start to see to see the value of people spend their time with me, and then I decide to choose better who on which things I'm going to spend my time with too. You know,
Hmm.
because
So,
I only saw the value of my time when I
uh
recognize the value of the other people time.
oh, wow, that's awesome. And the cool thing about DLive, that what attracted me to DLive is the family feeling, right? That we're friends and we support each other. Um, and so, like you said, I moderate what I say and how I act, and I try to, like you said, I put on, collared shirts and comb my beard and put on my hat and try, I want to give people value for their time. And DLive is great about that. And like you actually alluded to this earlier, which was on other streaming platforms, you are like, it seems like the streamer's focus is on what they're doing, not on interacting, right? And so you just chat with other people. But here on DLive, you're very much a part of the show, right? The chat and the audience. And the audience generally, they're friends. They all get to be friends. They all know you. A lot of them are streamers, so you get to know them as well. I love it. I love DLive.
Yes, and like another thing that helps me to become a better person, being on the live, is that just what you say, it's like family, it's like a friend. So when I'm out on the street and I have to watch my attitude because I know I'll be for 8 hours talking to people on the live through the night, and when I talk about my day, I want my friends to be proud about me, don't be shame about me,
Mm.
and you cannot lie about your attitudes if you're talking for 8 hours straight live, because
Right.
somebody's gonna pick your line, right?
Yeah.
So even the smallest things, when I'm on the queue in the supermarket, or when I gotta talk to someone on the street, I always think twice. Like I said, how can I handle this situation on the way that tonight I'm gonna tell what happens, and
Mm.
people will feel proud about me. My friends will like my attitude and not be ashamed of that. So it's like no, like Nietzsche wrote, like we lost the sense of God. We lost the sense that it's someone above that is watching us all the time. So people tend to be more nihilistic and all that.
Mm.
So I think the life gave me back that feeling that there's someone watching over me. So I have to have a better attitude, even if I want to be an asshole. If I'm on the bad mood, so I know somebody's watching me, or I'm gonna talk about what I did. Is a kind of watch what I did. So
Mm.
I gotta behave myself better and be a better person all the time.
That's awesome.
And because this connection we have here with everybody that's around, I have difficult to call people followers because they're all friends. We all have good times talking, and
Mm-hmm.
we always exchange experience, right? Like you can come to my stream and I say, oh well, I fall on the street and I hurt my elbow and I did this and that. And you say, oh, once I followed too. And I also got hurt, but I did that way. And another person will say, oh, and I did that another way. And so we all exchange the little experience for the everyday life. And you always kind of polishing ourselves to be better. Because
Mm-hmm.
one thing I'm trying to do is stop to, because there's a, I think it's a natural tendency when we out, we socializing, any situation, we tend our eyes go to people who doing something wrong, then we point the finger and say, I wouldn't do that. Then you feel superior, you feel better, and I'm trying be vigilant about myself and always looking around for someone that is doing something better than I would do. Like I'll give an example. I was on the supermarket queue, bunch of people. The lady on the counter was like very in the bad mood. She was bitch. She was making things even harder. And there was like an old fellow, very old dude, in front of me. And when got his time, he wasn't grumpy. He just crack a joke, a silly joke. The chick open a smile, start to do things faster. I say, see, this dude is doing something right. And then since that, I do that all the time. I even choose the longest one with the worst mood lady, and when come on my time, I will do the same thing that the old dude I saw doing, and it will be better for me, and it will be better for everybody else that is behind me on the queue.
That's
So
awesome.
like I find out that like those little improvements we do in our life, they make much more different than big things you trying to do.
Yes.
Normally, people don't do big things; they just talk about big things, and that's a common mistake. You think you're doing great because you're talking about something very important, but you gotta watch yourself on the small things every day. That's how you make everything better for you and for everybody else around you.
Yeah, that's man. I'm glad we're talking, Ricardo. I love you, buddy. I love your thoughts. I love your words. It's so important, that I had this grand idea that I could save the world at one time, right? And I was writing books about it, and I was trying to literally save everyone in the world, a person at a time. And just ton of community service and all these sort of things. And I realized you don't need to go out and do big things, just do the little things right, be kind to the people around you, help the people near you, right, think like, just if everybody helped the person next to them, the whole world's got somebody helping them, right, like it.
Yes, and
It's an easy
like you say,
plan.
it's a one person at a time. So the first person you gotta help is yourself.
Right.
If you want a happier world, you gotta start for yourself. So if you are happier, the world is happier by default, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you're gonna uh, it'll be more compelling to people be happy as you, because you can work with jealousy of people, right? So people, are you doing something good? People wanna be better than you. So if you have the right attitude, they will wish to have an even better attitude than you. Like kind of Brazilians come and say, "Oh, how can your channel grow grow this size and you get so much donations and all that?" And someone gonna come in the chat, but Ricardo's pretty chill and all that, just talking is very nice. So it compels them to be nice to, no, not to be an asshole. They say, "Oh, I want to be better than this guy, so I gotta be more nice than this guy. I gotta be more kind than this guy. I gotta be more polite than him." So you can get a bad feeling and tune out to a good thing, right?
Mm.
You don't have to and you don't have to tell people to do things. You gotta do things and let them see you doing that and see the result you get out of it. Cause you tell people, oh, you gotta be good, you gotta be polite, that, and then they see someone that is not good, is not polite, doing well in life, and they'll say like, "Fuck, what's right?" And cause I have a weird mindset, man. Cause I'm kind of if you ask me about religion, I'll tell you I'm a polytheist. But it's not because I believe there are many gods, but I like to interpret the different fields of life as different gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like one goddess that is a Fortuna, it's a Fortune, the lady that has a wheel, right? And she spins a wheel, and she doesn't care if you're doing good, if you're doing bad, if you're a good person, a bad person. She's gonna spin the wheel. If you got a good luck, good luck. If you got a bad luck, fuck you. She just doesn't care. And then that pushes me to understand more the stoic mindset that you only care about things that come inside your head, and things that happen outside you can do nothing about that. So why stress out? Why you gonna use that as a measure of what you do in your life? Just try be a better person, and do not expect be awarded by that. Just feel good because you're a better person. Feel good to yourself, no?
Yeah.
And be a better person. It doesn't mean being a weak man. Like for most of the time, I used to be a very weak man. I used to lie to myself. Oh, I'm so cool. I treat everybody so good, and people just would walk over me. And the people that really loved me, I could not help them because always people would walk over me and never respect me. So I've been changed that a little bit. So I'm spend time and my respect with people that spend their time and their respect with me, and the other people is just other people. Now I just say enough, good morning, good day. Don't try to be a nice guy anymore, because even if you're trying to be a nice guy, people just see that a sign of a weakness. And if you sign you're weak, the world is tough. Life is hard. So sometimes you gotta toughen up. And I'm not telling you I'm rude with people or I'm trying take advantage of people, but I'm not just wasting my time with people that do not respect the time I'm spend with them. I'll give you like a everyday life example. I have problems with neighbors, and I'm very cool with everybody that works on the building. But when I have problems with neighbors, I used to call them, and they wouldn't even tune up because I'm such a cool guy, a nice guy. They just see me as a buddy. I just no, just leave it. It's gonna be all right. So I changed it a little bit. I have a conversation with the administration of the building. Say, look, I pay all the bills here. I don't pay to make friends. I pay to get a job done, and you better do your fucking job. And now I stop to be cool for all the stuff. I just say, hey, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and that's it. Because sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, people see that kind thing as a weakness, and that doesn't help you. And if it doesn't help you, it doesn't help your family, your friends, and people that are around you. So it's a very thin line between because at the end of the day, uh, you need to people respect you as you respect people too. No, you can not just be respecting everybody, be cool with everybody if everybody walks over you. So it doesn't do any good. I used to lie to myself, say, no, but I'm so cool, and they are bad people. No, they're not bad people. They are ignorant most of the time, and they don't know what they're doing. They just like answer a fucking natural default for the hierarchical system that any social animal it's set up. We got like a program inside our head. Us, the lions, the any social animal, right? So I've been in the biology university for 7 years. I didn't degree. I did 2 courses, but I didn't got my degree. I quit by the end of both. But it's something that I knew the theory, but I never applied on the real life. And late in life, I kind of start to understand those things I studied in biology better. I think one of the reasons I quit both course was because I have too much disagreement with environmentalists and all these people that want to save the world. And I think what took me to go to these universities and work on that field was the really interest that I have about life, because biology means from the Latin the study of life. But I guess I wish to go further than that, more than just the physiological and chemistry that goes behind that. And I was curious about like how every beings and how we relate with everything around us. And there are so many hard truths when you study that to apply on the real life, like this hierarchical things. And they are true, man. And it's a game that you play. Doesn't matter if you want or not. So it's very complicated. I'm learning about that right now.
Let me ask you a question, because we talked about this one night when you were streaming. I complimented you on your mustache and said you clearly have the greatest mustache on DLive. That's my opinion, but I think it's correct.
Oh.
Now you said, but people here don't like my mustache. So what did you mean? Do people give you a hard time in public because you have this mustache? And if so, is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of how people treat you?
Yeah, first of all, as I told you, I'm a craftsman, and my best craft, and I'm not ashamed about that, it's my mustache. I make nice coin rings, but my mustache is the what like I spend time. But yeah, this thing like about people giving me a hard time. Now it changed a little bit since I started to like dress more sharp. It changed recently. It's been changing. But yes, most of the time is a reason of fun, right? Like people would make fun of you. But I think it was much more about my posture than anything else. So if you have like a weak posture, you're too nice, and people are gonna just find something to make fun of you,
Well,
just to make them feel better.
Yeah, you could wear anything as long as you're rocking it. People are gonna like, for instance, say you're wearing a dirty T-shirt with a hole in the front, and you have that mustache. Well, you look mentally ill. But you've got the same mustache, and you're wearing a nice white collared shirt, a vest. You've got a pocket watch with a chain. You got some shiny shoes on, right? You're walking with your shoulders back and your mustache blowing in the wind. Now you just look like a sharp dressed man with somewhere to go and something to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like yes, it's exactly like and these things like the posture, because it's all together. It's not just if I start to dress sharp, but it's still the old attitude and the old posture. And I mean the posture that I talk, but also the body posture, like more like my shoulders more down and things like that. And wouldn't do much difference, but I got a big change in all of that. The way I talk, DLive helped me a lot. The way I talk, because I've been talking too much, and I always want to talk better, have better communication skills. So yes, and like on the place around the supermarket across the street, I go there every day, or almost every day, and used to like being ignored by the staff. The security guy used to walk around me if I was going to steal something, even going there every day. And since I changed my attitude and how I look like. I changed the attitude at all. And nowadays, the security guy, he call me boss. And all the ladies that work there ask for my Instagram, what I do,
Yeah,
you know, if
yeah.
I'm married and all those things. So yeah, you see, like, and it's the same people. I didn't go in a different place. It's on the same place, and people just change it. So it's like I always like being against these things. Like people shouldn't judge you by the way you look, because the most important are the things you carry inside. But I think when you get mature, uh, if you're a wise person, if you really want to be wise, you can play with people prejudging you. You can play that on your own favor, right? So you don't have to change what you carry inside you, but you can play with that. Oh well, that's a reality of life. People will judge you by the way you look. So well, better you look better. Maybe you should look better than you really are. Like you guys say in the United States, fake until you make it, right? So
Well, I think
like
Pygos.
when people ask what I do, I say, oh, I have a show in the night, but it's just in English, right? Like I just say, like, oh, don't waste your time. It's just in English, and
That's awesome.
uh, also I'm an investor in cryptocurrency,
Hmm.
but I have like $20 in Bitcoin and a bunch of Linux that they haven't gone to the market yet, so they're worth nothing right now. But I just say, oh yeah, I'm investing in cryptocurrency, and I have a show at night, and also I make some jewelry. So no, like, and that I'm not lying. It's all true, right? I make jewelry. I have a show at night, and I have some crypto.
That's all
I
true.
just don't say it. I don't say that I'm not selling much. I don't say it's just a small channel on DLive, and I don't say the crypto that I have doesn't worth anything right now. I'm just saying the truth, and they can prejudge what I'm saying the way they wish. That's up
Yeah,
to them,
yeah.
their responsibility. So they think, oh, this guy, he looks sharp, he has a big mustache, so he probably on the money. He probably is a very successful guy. So yes, I am. So I'm faking till I make it, I guess.
You're not faking it. You're just not giving them all the details.
Yes,
But I,
exactly.
but like Pygos was saying in chat, and I would like to clarify this. You know, he's saying he knows a lot of people that don't dress well. Maybe they look like bums, but they're actually doing well. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how to improve your own mental well-being and your own confidence, right? Like how to project a
Yes,
more positive imagery of yourself. Whether because really when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you except you. So if the vest
yeah,
makes you confident, the beard, the mustache, whatever you're doing makes you more confident, do it. You know, it's important to have a positive self-image.
yes, and we social animals, right? So
Hmm.
socially speaking, our value is the value that people put on us.
Well, socially,
Uh,
yes, right.
that's a hard truth. It's a hard to swallow. It's a very bitter thing, but that's it is the way it is. Uh, you value socially what the value that people put on you is not what you think you value, and no, uh, and you gotta handle that. Especially if you want to rise, because okay, if you're already on a good position, you can allow yourself to no, you can dress down and all those things, and people know that you are on that position, so they still
Hmm.
respect you. But if you're not, uh, you gotta handle that. And I tell you by own experience, like I used to go on the park around the corner, and every time I would sit and smoke a cigarette, the cops would stop and search me, right? Because I didn't look good.
Hmm.
So, and that's it. That can make, like, you can say, oh, but you can blame the cops and could be rebellious, but it doesn't change your everyday life.
Right.
These things happen all the time. It's happening all the time. And maybe if you apply for a job or want to date a girl or something like that, and people see you being researched by the cops, doesn't make any good for you. Doesn't matter what your rhetoric about that is. how cool you think about those things. The reality is, one, if you look like a bum, they're going to stop you and they treat you like a bum.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Stop blaming other people for how they interact with you and take more responsibility for how you act and how you treat yourself. That's a very important. So I have a question. So you moved away from Brazil for a while and came back. Were you living in Brazil when they hosted the Olympics?
Nah, not the Olympics and not
I don't remember what year
the
that
World
was.
Cup.
I just remember that being like a big international conversation, about Brazil hosting the Olympics while there's having this financial crisis. Even their own people don't have enough. And then, I was just wondering, like, how do you overcome the difficulties financially that your nation's having politically, right? You're saying there's a crunch right now, and that's why you're being careful with your money. But how do you overcome that? Because DLive, the great thing about DLive to me is that it's a worldwide organization, right? People on DLive everywhere, all these different countries. I've interviewed many, many different people from different countries, and I really enjoy learning about the culture and their world, and right, and how they are able to be successful, even given real challenges, right? Like political, national, economic challenges. So, how is it that when so many of your countrymen are having these struggles, even the country as a whole is having this struggle, what motivated you to take care of yourself and to look out for yourself and to start, this positive mental work that you're doing? Because the reason I'm asking is because there's a lot of people I think who would like to know, because maybe they would like to do it for themselves.
So, what first brought the country to a crisis that we are right now was because the previous governments were totally ideological, right? This one is still ideological, just on another side. Now it's a right wing. Before it was like 13 years of a left wing.
Mm.
And I think one thing that is important to understand that ideology is not the same as politics.
Mm.
So
Mm.
politics do not need ideology to work. Politics are nothing but the management of public good. How to manage the roads, the street, the hospitals, the police, the firefighters, and things like that, right? That's politics. So if you take to this side, it's pretty easy. The economy now it's getting back on the rail because they put like a very good economist over there. He's not an ideological guy. He doesn't want to save the world. He not play for classes. He just want to spread the money. And who wants to work is going to get it.
Mm.
So, and I think an important thing to everybody understand is like ideologies, they are like a disease. They try to infect the politics.
Mm.
You don't need ideology to have politics, but you need the politics to keep your ideology going, right? So ideology is like a simple set of rules that they give to you, promising that they're going to achieve an unachievable goal, right? And left and right, doesn't matter what, because what you see, for example, you see the left wing, all about environmentalism here in Brazil, but when the left wing government was here, the tax, when you're going to buy a bicycle, 72.3% of the price is tax. So how environmentalist they are.
Wow.
So they want to tax you in the name of the environment, but they don't want to allow you to use like a clear transport, right? And the right wing, they say they are conservatives, but they've been through like 5 marriages and go the fucking whole house once a week. So they're not that conservative as well. So they just give you rules that they don't follow themselves just to keep you in the game. So I think the first thing to overcome the struggle on your own, because a nation is made by individuals. A nation does well when the individuals want to do well, and it goes down when the individuals give up their self-responsibility and they hand all the responsibility to the government hands, expecting to get something out of it.
Exactly.
Uh, they say like they use like the people tell is more like activists in both sides. When I say them, I don't have ideology, and they say, "Oh, you should worry about politics, because if you don't worry about politics, the politicians are gonna handle your life." But I say, dude, I don't have ideology, but I follow the politics. I know what the laws they're making. I know what are the setup of rules. But I just take it as like a fucking poker table. So they are the dealers. They drop in the cards, and I'm picking my cards. I'm taking a look on that cards. Doesn't matter if I got a good hand or bad hand, and I have to set up a strategy. And
Mm-hmm.
or complain about that, or say you're happy about that doesn't help you. It's just like a poker game. You get your cards, take a look. The cards, I mean, the legislation, the tax, and all that. You look how it goes, and you set up your strategy. And you don't have to give too much opinion about the
Yeah.
ideological side. If it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work. Make it work for yourself. Like I'm doing that right now. So I have a weak currency. It's hard to get a job. It's hard to sell my thing. I'm streaming on DLive. I'm getting paid in dollar. They pay me. They calculate the payment in dollar, but they pay me in Bitcoin. The government can't put the fucking dirty hands on that. So like I'm playing my game on my own. I can't save everybody. I can't make everybody from Brazil have a channel on DLive and get linos, lemons, or whatever. But I know I can do my own. I
Mm-hmm.
can save my ass. I could be a weight on my family's shoulders because I come back from overseas on the very hard times, but I'm not. So everybody's doing well, and I keep going to like when I can back up selling much and all that.
That's
But
a it's brilliant. Actually, I had a question and I don't want to forget it. How come you don't sell your jewelry internationally? Because there's plenty of countries that aren't having that same crisis and people have expendable money, right? Expendable funds to spend on things like jewelry.
yes, I'm trying to set up a eBay account, but it's so bureaucratic and so much stuff. So
Oh,
I still try and make it up, but it's still like a very heavy taxing over you when you're selling overseas, right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could see what you mean by that.
So they're gonna take a good bite out of it.
Even if you sell in Bitcoin, is there a platform where you could sell your goods in exchange for crypto?
The problem is that the post service in Brazil is only one, and it's owned by the government. So
Oh,
every time you're gonna send a letter package, you gotta fill up your social security number, your ID, how much it worth,
oh.
and everything.
So they're trying to keep you from getting stuff out without them knowing about it, basically.
Yeah,
Okay, because I said, I was thinking, well, you could hold a ring up right now like this and say, who wants it? And somebody could buy it and you could mail it to them and they could pay you in crypto. But again, like you're saying, you have that struggle with shipping. So I could see that being an issue. But I like what you said earlier, which is I'll just keep streaming. It's paying my bills. I'll keep making my rings because I like making them. And eventually it's going to work out. And then I'll sell all the rings. It'll be great. I like
yeah.
that. It's so
Cause
simple and
we got
confident.
yes, cause gotta have patience. I feel like I'm fishing, like I'm just fishing with these ring things. So I gotta
Sure. Yeah.
wait the good bite, and
I do the same thing with my books. I've got, I think, seven of my books are online right now. And it's like you said, fishing. It's just one more thing that could work out, right? And I enjoy doing it. I do it because I really enjoy it. And maybe one day it's going to work out. And it's not the only thing I'm doing. You can't put, like the old saying, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Because something happens, you're completely out of luck. So you're spreading it around, and I like that. I like that.
Yes, and there's a fortune wheel, there's a fortune wheel. She keeps spinning the wheel. She doesn't spin once and is there.
Hmm.
She spin all the time. So sometimes you're gonna have luck, sometimes not so much. And
Yeah, yeah. But that
I
doesn't
wish I
even
had this
matter.
notion before. Yeah, I wish I had this notion before, so I would be more frugal on the good times I have in the past, and I'll probably do better nowadays. But no, it's better late than never to learn something. And now I'm totally on that. Now I'm like a fucking rat or a snake, just waiting the right time to strike. And it is what it is. Like I'm learning about crypto too, and
Mhm.
maybe in the 5 years from now, those linos we save may worth something also, and you can make something out of it. And I think like these things should be on DLive. Uh, Getting better communication skills. It's
Mhm.
gonna help me in all fields of life because everything is all about communication. So
Yeah.
if you can communicate well, you can be straight up, give the message, no much bullshit around. Be straight up, but also be nice. Say things the way that people feel compelled to listen to you. I
Mhm.
think it's a very important thing for everybody or any field and anything you do in life. It's how to communicate.
Very important. Absolutely. So you mentioned earlier something about mountain biking. Is that a hobby for you? You said it's for what, since '93? I mean, that's almost what, 25 years or something. I'm not a math guy, but that's a lot. Like you, um, what got you into mountain biking?
Yeah, man. Like I count like 1993 because of the first race, right? I've
Mm.
been cycling all my life, but yes, mountain bike's the biggest passion of my life. I don't even have a drive license. I never had a car. I always
Hmm.
use bicycles. I'm not riding now because I refuse to pay 72.3% tax on a fucking bicycle. So it's been this past 5 years. I'm not riding. I refuse to ride, right? But mountain biking, it's like it's a passion that it's beyond explanation because it's something that Brazil is a country of soccer, right?
Hmm.
People love soccer. It's not a traditional thing, especially back in the 90s, early 90s. Mountain bike come up in the world in the late 70s in the United States, right? About 78, 79. Become a thing in the mid 80s in the United States. And back there was no internet. So things take time to go around the world, right?
Right.
But I remember I saw the first mountain bike in my hometown was from a guy. His father has like a magazine shop on the park, and he got a mountain bike, and he was doing some wheelies and some stuff, and I was like, fuck, I was on my BMX, and I was like, oh, what a great thing, what a great stuff. I was like I don't know, like if you give like a kid's toy to a chimpanzee, right? Like the animal would just get amazed by that. And I was looking at and I say, fuck man, that's so nice. And I used to skateboard, but I had to stop because I broke my arm when I was 12,
Mm.
really badly. And my mother, my parents were divorced, right? My father lived in another town. And my mother said, I'll give you two options. You can sell your skateboard and keep the money, or I can sell it and I keep the money. So, okay, all right, I'll sell it. So I sold that. And but a mountain bike was much more expensive. And I
Hmm.
started to say, oh, how can I get a mountain bike? It's a pretty dangerous sport, right? But people doesn't know much about that. And my father was like really fanatic about soccer, right? So he would love to see me playing soccer, and I never liked that. But I said, okay, all right, I know how I'm gonna get a bike. And my father was used to visit me once a month, and he came to my town and said, look, there's a soccer school for indoor soccer, so I want to learn how to play soccer. But you know what? It's a bit far. It's another neighborhood, and I have just this BMX, and it got no gear, so I need a bike that have a gear. So if you give me a mountain bike, I could do that soccer thing, right? And he said, "Oh yeah, right, sure, man. Is that all you need to do soccer?" I said, "Yes, I just need a better bike." And he got me my mountain bike, and
Wow.
then I started to mountain bike, do some trail, and then my father, he realized I really like that stuff, so he gave me another one, a little bit better, a GT. Back when GT was a good brand, it was an American brand. Now it's from a Canadian company. It's not so good. And uh, I went to the first race. I didn't finish. My driller got inside the wheel, and but I was a real love. So I used to before I learned to speak English when I was 27 years old. I was an immigrant. So I used to buy this American magazine. I didn't know English just to see the pictures, because that thing, like, we don't have snow here in Brazil, right? So I used to see and see those guys on the mountain, the real mountain, with those fucking pine trees with like snow caps, and I was like, I always get myself on that zone, and I had difficult teenager times because my hometown is a small town. My parents going back and separate together. I moved too much, and when I was like about 15, they got back together, and all fights and all that. So I was just to hop on my bike and just go to the bush, get all my anger on the pedal stroke, and just chill on the nature, like instead go smoke weed, take drugs or anything. The first joint I smoked, I was already 18, 19 years old, like. I could like develop myself as a person without going through like these easy skate stuff. Like I would focus all my anger and all that on the sport. Um I used to race, but I never aimed to be like a world champion or things like that. It's just like it's more like a surf like lifestyle, like you have a mountain lifestyle, and yes, and mountain bike is something like a boomerang in my life. It comes and goes. And since I was a teenager, I always had this vision like me on the mountain with the fucking pine trees with a snow cap, right? And it's just like a teenage dream because you don't have real mountains in Brazil. You don't have snow, and the pine trees are different. But then I went to New Zealand when I was 27 years old. I was full of everything. My father has passed away with cancer when I was a year before, and I started to think better about life, about time, about how you spend your time, how you spend your life. It can be shorter than you can imagine. Something can happen, and you can just go. And I went to New Zealand, right? And I was there. I was in Auckland, and I back to mountain bike. I started to do free riding. I used to ride on a mountain bike park called Wood Hill, and I was doing big ass jumps, like road gap, huge stuff. Sometimes I put some pictures on the stream. And so this first 4 years, I was there, and I was happy. I was doing hard job, work with ship containers, and doing my mountain bike. I said, okay, I'm close, the closest possible of my dream. I'm doing mountain bike on a place with real mountains and all that. And then I moved to Christchurch, right? Because they have an earthquake. The city was empty because I still having aftershocks, but they need people to rebuild the city. And I have no kids. I have nobody that depends on me. So I'm going to go and I'm going to help. And I was in Christchurch, and you have to renew your visas and all that. And under a certain moment, a lawyer stole all my documents, everything that I have. And I got no documents, no visa, nothing. Well, I was a well-known guy. I had plenty of job offers, but I say I'm not going to do anything outside of the law. So I contact the police. The police told me to contact immigration. I contacted immigration. The immigration told me to contact the Brazilian authorities. The Brazilian authorities say to me they don't put their finger on these things to contact police. So I did 3 laps. around police, immigration, and Brazilian authorities. I say, fuck, I'm fucked, because I'm not gonna go do something illegal. But even though I still haven't on the risk to be arrested of doing nothing wrong, because I'm a lone guy, nobody's here for me. And what I'm gonna do, so I need some time off, right? I got nothing. I just got a mountain bike and a tent and a good night. So, well, I'm gonna take off to a mountain. So it was a winter in South Island, very cool. So I've been 20 days in the mountain on my own, no phones, no radio, nobody going around. I was in the semi-alpine base, camping for 20 days. And I don't know if you or anybody around the chat has the experience to stay so long on your own without any contact, but you go from heavens to hell in a couple seconds, right? You and your conscious. I was hunting, living my life every day like a fucking caveman, but I was writing every day. And one day I was really, really sad, and I went to write because I always writing used to be my escape route, right? And I was like a long hill going out of the base. You go on parallel to the summit, then you get the other trail where I used to lay traps for bunny rabbits and stuff like that. And that day I was really, really feeling really bad. I'm not saying I was depressed because I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose myself. But I was crying, man. I was crying, pedaling uphill, and I have a clear memory that I see the tears running through my nose, and I'm looking down, and I was thinking, fuck, man, when I go, I probably just gonna miss a curve, smash on the rock, and that would be that. That's done. People are not gonna feel sorry because it would be an accident. People are not gonna think I killed myself and things like that. It will be all good. It will be things happen. I was having a ride, and I have an accident, and that's all. And I was really bad, and then and going up and crying and not feeling like I got nothing, man. I lost everything I had in life. I lost all my money. I have no contacts. I'm probably gonna get arrested, so I'll lose the last things in my dignity. So I'm done in life. And then when I got close to the summit and I looked to my left side, there was a fucking piney tree with a snow cap.
Nice.
And on my right side was the fucking beautiful landscape. I said, fuck, man, I'm inside my oldest dream, you know. And sorry. And at that moment, I say, fuck, man, if I got it, if I got inside my imagination or real life, I think I can get everything sorted anytime, anywhere. So next day, I come back to the city after 20 days, and I went to the homeless night shelter, and I've been there for 6 months, making an investigation of my own case. And then I say, I'm gonna send a letter to the Minister of Immigration. People say, "Oh, you're gonna be arrested anyway." I say, "Oh, fuck." And then I send that, and after 6 months doing investigation of the sleeping on a night shelter, pass all my day on the public library, learn about legislation, find the documents I could ask for to prove that this lady got my documents and I was doing all these tramits and all. And then I sent him a letter, and he sent me a 3 month visa to at least to be able to get back home on my own, no, not handcuffed, not being arrested or anything like that, and to keep my dignity untouched. So that's how I come back to Brazil.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What an amazing moment though to be at like one of your lowest points in your life and then to look over and see your dream come to life. That's 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 amazing. I think that's
Yes,
amazing.
man. It was my biggest dream, and it cost me everything I had, right? But I would pay it again. Still cheap, no? Still cheap.
Hmm.
I guess because it was a thing that even for the time schedule, like almost 30 years after, even the world is not like that. You don't have many mountains like that. to be there on that zone, right? So, and I was there. Sometimes life is just funny. You're gonna get what you want, but it's not gonna be the way you imagine that.
Right.
It's gonna be delivered on a kind of different way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they say be careful with what you wish, because you may get it. And yeah, sometimes it's not an easy path, but you get it anyway. You get it.
So let's talk about Lino, or not Lino specifically, but DLive. You're you're newer to live streaming, just like me, right? When we got to DLive, that was kind of how we learned how to live stream and what it meant. What
Yeah.
those that may be watching in Brazil, where you are, and that you, like you said, they, a lot of them have questions. Well, how do I make this channel? How do I be successful on DLive? If you wanted to give them some advice, what would you say is something that will help them to be successful live streaming, but also something that will hurt them, right? Something that's not good that won't help, don't do it. So go ahead.
So I think like for success or anything, you first thing you gotta show up every night or every day. Doesn't matter if you feel good, if you feel a little bit sick, and you gotta go there. You gotta do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So consistency is a very important.
Consistency, exactly, right? Because that's how you learn things, how you learn properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learn English, I never been in English school. I learn because I need to learn to pay my bills, right? So I was there and learning, and you gotta pay attention, learn about these programs and all that, because many people think like, I'm gonna get a better computer, I'm gonna get a better equipment, and then I'm gonna start streaming. Say, dude, I have like a Samsung Essentials laptop, dual. It's kind of most impossible to stream with that. I stream with that every night. So I spent lots of time. I didn't have the money to spend on a good machine. So, but I had. If you don't have money, it means you have time. If you don't have money, man, you have time. No, because you may be busy, but no, you just busy with something that is worthless. So spend your time. Learn.
Sorry, I love it. I love what you're
So
saying.
I put lots of hours watching tutorials and talking to people here in the live. As I was streaming, talking for all the stream, and they say, "Oh, have you checked your bitrate? Have you checked on internet? Have you checked this? Why don't you use that? Why don't you use that?" So I was writing. I have like a paper notebook here, so I
Mm-hmm.
write everything every night that people talk to me from a music that I should listen to,
Mm-hmm.
a program and everything like that. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next day I'm gonna put at least a couple of hours learning about that. It's not all the things that I'm gonna apply, but I uh, I don't know, 10% of all those things I applied. They work. So I think the technicalities are very important things because normally people think about like the persona they're gonna play on the stream, right?
Mm.
And the title they're gonna choose, the subject they're gonna talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks very like compelling, but it's not much about like that. I think first thing you have to have a transmission, a good broadcasting. Can't be like buffering all the time. These things are very boring.
Yeah.
Another thing, it's never shut up, never ever. For the first 4 months, I would talk to 3 people in the 8 hour stream every night. I was here every night for 8 hours, and through these 8 hours, we come about 3 or 5 people. But I would be talking all the time. I would be
Mm-hmm.
reading something. I would be telling a story because me, knew everybody else around here. We go random on DLive, right? Checking streams
Mm-hmm.
randomly. If you go on the stream and the guy seated with his phone in his hand waiting somebody start a conversation with him. You're not gonna be the person gonna start a conversation. You
Mm-mm.
just say, "Oh, fuck him, too boring. I'm gonna find another one."
Yep.
But if you go there, there's a crazy guy with a weird mustache. He's just telling a crazy story, and there's nobody there, but he still talk. You gotta talk with this guy. You say, "Fuck, that's interesting.
That's how
I wanna know this person."
that's how we met.
Yeah,
I was hopping around DLive and there's this big baroque screen with this guy in the corner with this mustache and I was like, yeah, I need to know what this is. I clicked on it and you were telling stories, you were laughing, you were dancing. I was like, wow, I'm entertained. I'm gonna stay. I want to know who this is.
yes, exactly. So I think the most important thing is like you keep talking. I'm not just talk about only chatting streams. All streams, even if you're playing a game, you kind of if nobody talking to you, narrate your game, man. You narrate. You play PUBG. Say, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Papa, die, motherfucker. Yeah, yeah. Oh shit. No, like you gotta be like you say, entertained. And people want to engage you. They want to be part of your. So you gotta give them like you gotta open the gate. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
be saying something, and somebody can come and say something to you, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can start a conversation. At the beginning, I was afraid. How can I hold up, be a content creator, doing 8 hour stream every night? I'm gonna run out of things to say, right? But
I thought the same
what
thing.
what happens is like I will never run out of things to say because I don't have anything to say when I start every night. I'm not willing to talk about anything. I'm just here. I read my favorite poem, Roll the Dice by Charles Bukowski, and then I read my own horoscope. And suddenly gonna pop someone and say, "Can you read my horoscope too?" And then I'm gonna read his horoscope. I don't even believe much on that, but I read that anyway. They tell me the color I'm gonna put my
It's
background or something like that.
entertainment. Why
I do.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we talk about that, and they say, "Oh, the horoscope was spot on," and we talk about that. And they say, "Oh, it was totally off because my day was like that." We talk about that and talk about my day, talk about your day, talk about Vic's day. When you go there and you see it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you say, "Sorry guys, but now I have to finish." And that's how it goes. Like uh, I think the biggest mistake for who is starting the stream, they too focus on the big thing
Mm.
and they forget about the small things like to set up everything to work for, and just be like someone that you show people that you're willing to engage. Like we spoke on the beginning. The differential from DLive is that the streamer is not like a celebrity that is just playing the stream and people just watching. Uh, everyone that comes on the chat, it's part of the stream. They're part of the thing. So, and it makes much easier to be a streamer here because you have so many people creating the content every day with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a bad thing, I would say, like something that they're not gonna like is just say, don't expect your channel gonna grow. Don't expect you're gonna get anything because for most of the time you're not gonna get it,
Well,
and maybe you never get it. But just enjoy it.
there's a big thing with streaming that I think there's a misconception in terms of are you successful or not. If your camera's on and you're broadcasting yourself to the world, you are a successful streamer, right? It's not about how much money you make or how famous you are. It's got nothing to do with it. Like being a live streamer, even being a successful live streamer, is not like winning the lottery. It doesn't just happen and now you're rich and successful and you don't have to do anything else ever again. It's a job. You get up every day, you work, you talk, you entertain, you have to run right a business. And so you have to understand if you're going to be a successful live streamer or you expect to be a successful live streamer, it's because, like Ricardo said, every day that you have scheduled for streaming, you start you put a quality content out, and you are consistent. That's the number one thing. You nailed it with that. The number one way to grow your channel, to maintain your channel, is to be consistent, right? And there's many other things. Be kind, be interactive with your chat, have high quality production value, right? Sound, audio, good internet connection, things like that. That's a lot of little things. But if you are showing up consistently and putting in effort, that's how you become a successful streamer. It is not an overnight thing. I know I've interviewed plenty of folks on this show that took them 5 years to become successful, right? Or more. I mean, look at LT Zonda. Everybody on DLive that's been streaming on DLive has met LT Zonda. Well, that's how I got to DLive, was following him from Twitch. On Twitch, he had 500,000 followers because he played one specific video game. Well, when he quit playing that game, his channel crashed and he had almost nobody in his channel, right? So he switched to DLive. He had been streaming almost 10 years. Had a company called Streamers Connected, still does, just to help streamers learn how to stream and stream. Still completely started over. Came to DLive, started his channel over, started, right? He just could, that's 10 years of work. And he came here and worked hard. Every day he works hard to put out a production value. He's upgrading his hardware. He's upgrading his software. He's upgrading what he says and how he acts, the things that are hanging on the wall behind him, right? Constantly putting in more work and more time and more effort. Consistency. That's how you are going to be successful streamer. So I know that was a bit of a tear, but go for it.
And every day is the first day. Every day is like your first day. You're never gonna get on the place that you say, okay, all right, now I'm just do whatever I want, and cause
Right.
I'm there. You're never there. You're never there.
Right.
And
Exactly.
other thing, like I say a few times on the stream, we're social animals. We're not spectators animals. We're social animals. So you gotta keep a good connection with everybody that supports you all the time. All the time. Pay attention, read what they say, think before you answer, and yeah, create a good environment. No, because I think people are very tired of everything in life. They're tired of the work. They tired even of the social media, the way it goes. So especially here on the live, most of the people come here because they had enough of everything else. So they come here to chill. So like I said, I can talk about politics, but I don't talk about ideology. So it's not the same, and it makes most easy to keep a chat about something, because not gonna have all those fucking heated discussions, because no one is trying to save the world. So we may talk about a specific law, and that's an easy thing. Like we can say, I'm pissed because in Brazil we lost our right to bear guns on the early 2000s, and the criminality rose incredibly. The murders are way higher, but no, we don't talk about ideology. We talk about a law that was passed and the consequence that we had after that. So it's not about ideology. It's not about left or right. It's just about a fucking number. So we cannot bear guns anymore. The criminals are killing much more, and that's that. That's the fact. So we can talk about that all night, and nobody going to have a heated discussion, no? And and those things are like a important thing I found out to have on the stream. And like I don't feel bad if someone come too ideological and I just cut the person off. Say, look, if you keep pushing that, I'll just ban you. That's that, because nobody is feeling comfortable anymore. So yeah, you gotta keep like a. It's not like a. Cause I don't know if you have that here, but on my channel is occurring things like some very ideological from one side or another. They come and they start to push their conversation,
Sure,
and they
quite
start
often.
to push and push and push, and you say, dude, if you keep doing that, I'm gonna ban you, and they're gonna ask you about if you don't believe in freedom of expression, right? They're gonna ask, are you gonna censor me? But what I say is the simple thing. Say, dude, you have a channel as I do here on DLive, so I'm not censoring you. You can turn up your channel right now and talk about those things.
Hmm.
What you're doing is just try kidnap the stream
Yeah.
because you're not 100% confident about the things you say. So you don't want to put your face on that. You want to put that sayings on somebody else's face to make someone say what you want to say, but you're not 100% sure about that. So that's why you're not turning your camera on, because you can stream from your mobile. There is no, you can just turn your mobile and can go about that. You're not 100% confident about that. You just need a confirmation bias, so you go around all the streams and try kidnapping the conversation about the subject you want to talk about. So you're not
Yep.
going to do that here. And yes, I'm going to ban you if you keep doing. Most of the time, people just stop and we have a decent conversation. I don't really have to ban anybody
That's
for that.
really good advice, though. And I learned it kind of the hard way when I first started streaming because I had this one guy that came into my channel and he wanted to tell me all about his troubles and what was wrong. And I'm a sympathetic person, and so I was trying to commiserate and encourage him, right? And but it was never enough. It was just more, 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 and he totally hijacked the show. Then um, something that's very important if you want to be a streamer, you need to spend time in other people's channels, learning, supporting, right? It's a very much give and take. So I would spend as many hours as I stream in a day. I make sure to spend at least that many hours watching other people's streams. That's how I balance it out. So if it's a day, I don't say every day because if I'm not online today, I'm not online today. You know what I mean? But if I'm streaming, then obviously I'm home, I'm in front of a computer. So I would go into other channels and I would find this exact same guy no matter what channel I was in. He was if he showed up, he said the exact same stories to this person that he had said to me, looking for more attention and looking for more energy and looking to hijack somebody else's channel. And as soon as that person got tired of it, he went to another channel and started it all over again. So it was a good lesson for me because I learned what you just expressed, which is we can have this discussion about facts, but as soon as we get into specifics and ideology, then you're at risk of hate speech, right? People using hate speech because their side versus the other side, left versus right, all these sort of things, right? Now, DLive
Yeah.
has made a concession for this, guys. If you want to stream and you want to talk about challenging, controversial topics, you can do that. There is what they call X tag uh, in your where you're setting up your stream and you put in your title and your picture and all that, there's a little button that says X tag. If you click that button, your stream is now 18 and older instead of DLive is 13 and up. So 18 and older, and you could talk about whatever you want to talk about, right? If you cuss a lot, they ask that you turn on the X tag. You talk about politics, religion, things that are deemed controversial for children to be talking about, put on your X tag and knock yourself out. Have a good time, why not? Like you said,
Yeah.
we're not trying to censor you. You're just not going to do that, your agenda on our channel.
Yes, exactly. That because that's the thing. And there's another thing. Like people drain their energy to themselves on the stream. Like I had a guy, and he always on my stream. I always ban him, and I unban him, right? Because he always do that. But I used to think he was a very young guy and was just learning how to troll. So, okay, all right, man. You can learn. we can talk when just us. When people start to come here, if you don't behave yourself, I'll give you a timeout. I'll ban you for a couple of days, and you come back. But I have in my mind, for the way he talks, that he was a really young guy, like maybe 14, 15. But yesterday he was there. I had to ban him, and he was streaming. I check him, and he's not a young guy. He's a grown guy, man, and he talks like a kid. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna ban him anymore because it's too silly. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man. But there's important thing to be around on the live as well, because you get to know everybody. Because most of the people they stream now and then, right? So you gotta get around and know who you're talking with, because sometimes you think it's one person, is another kind of person, and there are many things you learn, brother. Like I had a friend. I thought she was my friend, right? She was a moderator on my channel and all.
Mm-hmm.
And on my channel, that we have like a simple rule, like be cool with everybody else and don't bring dramas from another channels here.
Right.
What I mean is like, for example, you don't do well with someone else, but you guys get to see each other on my channel. So
Mm-hmm.
just don't talk to each other, not talk to me. I'll
Right.
be all the time talk to you guys. So you just no, it's like any adult person. If you have a job and another person that you don't like work in the same company, you're not gonna quit because that. You know, you're just not gonna talk to the person, or you're just gonna talk enough and keep. And this person, she was a mod, and she would have problems all around the life, be banned off everywhere. And then she wanna use my the mod position to ban these people from my and treat these people bad, right? And she charged lots of people out of my channel. Good supporters, good friends. They treat me very well because I have problems. And always when I would say, look, why that person is cool with me. I totally understand you guys have problem outside, but that's cool with me. Why are you doing that? And she would say, oh, you just want this person here because he give you lean. He's giving you Linux. And then come one time I had to tell her, say, that person it's cool with me and it behaves well on this channel. And also gives me Linux, and you are my friend, or you say you are my friend, and you know I'm very tight on money, so you should not be using the fact the person that gives me Linux as a derogatory thing. You should be a good friend and understand that I need this Linux also, and just behave yourself, because that's not
Right.
fair. What kind of friend are you that instead to understand that I need something and just try hold your feelings down a little bit, your ego down, you're just gonna use that against me. So and then we had an argument later, and she's not a mom. I even try contact, say, come on, we can like be friends and all that, but it's a difficult person, and the channel had a considerable growth since this person is not there anymore. So
Yeah.
sometimes just one person is draining all your energy because you're too focused on control that person behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And other people may not tell you, but they just feel bad around that person. They're not going to hang on a channel when the person is. So it's a very difficult thing, especially in my case, because my moderators they don't have to work as a moderator. It's just like a small sign of appreciation that people that hanging around and give that. But I have to read people well before I drop that, or it can turn
Yeah.
against the myself.
That's actually a
But
really great point because I ran into the same thing on my channel. I had a bad moderator. It took a while to understand how much that was actually affecting my channel, right? And then at the time, you couldn't unban people. So then, so it was stuck. Obviously, DLive has now fixed that, so you can unban people, you can unmoderate people, you can time people out for 5 minutes, right? Things like that. I really appreciate all of the changes that DLive has implemented to give us more control over our channels, right? It's because there are community standards that we have to follow as moderators. So we have way more control now. If people are violating the terms of service, we can actually just remove them and carry on with our day. It's fantastic.
Yes, and after all, the responsibility is all on the streamer, right? Uh, there's no responsibility on, or if something goes really bad on your chat box and you don't do anything, you can just get banned from the live itself.
Yeah, they DLive can remove you as a streamer if you don't follow the terms of service that you signed when when you sign up for an account. It's
Yeah,
true. And
and
if you get banned in a bunch
also
of different channels, they can remove you from the platform totally.
yes, and also like that's another thing that everyone that wanna start streaming should do is should start helping other channels as a moderator, because then you get smarter on how to handle people, the technicalities of doing that, how to mute, how to 5 minutes, how to unmute,
Hmm.
and which when you someone that is more experienced, they're gonna tell you, oh, can you time out this person? Can you ban this person? So you're gonna read what the person said, and then you're gonna understand why you're doing. So when you get your own channel, you already know by the beginning, by the first two sentences, people who you should look have your eyes on and not, and just to keep like a very healthy environment all the
Hmm.
time. Uh,
Yeah.
Most of the things that happen, I'm sometimes you're gonna get there is that 10 people on my channel and the 10 people are subscribers that I'm, but I'm doing all the moderations because I'm pretty fast on that because I've been doing so much for other channels that I
Hmm.
just like I get everything set up, and I've seen so many stuff going on other channels that I know. When I've actually been around the live, you also you get to know, you get to make friends around, and you get to know the trolls that are around.
Hmm.
So sometimes, many times, I'm gonna see a guy on my channel and say, "Oh, I saw him who was banned on this channel, that channel. He was saying this and that." So you already know what to expect. So you can cut and dry on the spot. The guy say hello, follow you, hello, say hello. Don't say that things you say on that channel. I'm gonna ban you like you've been banned. Will be your third ban, and you're gonna be out of
Right.
the live.
Actually,
So you get things smart.
when I got to DLive, I was a moderator for 2 months before I started streaming, and I credit that to being a big part of why I became successful as a streamer was because, like you said, you spend every day in a channel with. I was moderating for LT Zonda, so every day I'm in his channel. I'm getting to know his community. I'm getting to know him, which I've known Luke for a couple years because we were playing games and hanging out on Twitch, but he taught me a lot in those 2 months about how to stream, how to be consistent, how to handle trolls, how to handle technical difficulties, right? Because games are gonna crash, stuff's gonna happen, audio. You're gonna mute yourself and forget to unmute yourself. There's all there's all kinds of little
Yeah,
things that you have to learn, and like you said, you get to know the community. So when I started streaming myself, there was a lot of people that I had met just being friendly in other people's chats that were like, hey, I like you, I like having a conversation with you, please start streaming, I want to be able to talk to you and see you more. And so after several months of moderating and knowing the community, as soon as I started streaming, there was an audience, right? It wasn't there. Now there was plenty of days, like you said, one person, two, three people. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter how many people. Be 1,000 people. They could be nobody. You should still put the same production value into your show, right? Because
yeah,
like you said earlier, Ricardo, if I'm sitting here staring at my phone because there's nobody in my channel, when somebody actually shows up to my channel, I'm not entertaining. I'm boring. They're gonna leave before you can wake up and start being animated, right? So make sure if you're going to have the camera on that you have the energy to entertain people. And if you don't turn the camera on. Take its mental health days are very important. I streamed 110 days straight when I started streaming and finally realized that's a terrible idea for me. I have to have days off. It's amazing. It helps your body, it helps your brain, it helps your voice, right? For me personally, I had to have days off, and it took me doing it the hard way to learn that. Also, the number of hours I stream at a time. I can't do 8-hour streams because I'm physically disabled. I have some spinal cord issues and stuff. So I start hurting after just a few hours, and I have to stop or get up, move around, take a couple hours off, come back later in the night, whatever, you know. But just Ricardo, he can do 8 hours a night and chat. If you're listening, you're like, hey, I want to be a streamer. Do I have to do 7 days a week, 8 hours a day? No, you don't. You don't have to do anything but what you want to do. That's the beauty of live streaming. It's your show. You control the content. You control the hours. That's what I love about it, right? If I wake up in the middle of the night and want to play Grand Theft Auto and stream it, I can do that. If like Ricardo and I want to have this podcast at 1 p.m, for me, I can do that, right? Don't be so set on consistency means every day, the exact same time, the exact same hours. Consistency means you keep showing up. Every time you turn the camera on, you're putting out a quality show. That's consistency.
Yes, you gotta do what you do best, right? There's a book, the Bhagavad Gita, it's a Hare Krishna, and it's like Krishna, God, talking about with Arjuna, and he was the best arrow guy, warrior, and then he was like, "Oh shit, man, I'm gonna go to this war, but on the other side, there's my grandparents and a couple cousins." And then God liked this guy and said, "No, look, man." Took him to walk around, talk about the God and all that, but at the end, the lesson or the conclusion was like, you gotta do what you do best. If you're doing what you do best, everybody's happy. God is happy. God's happy means the world is happy, right? So I guess it's pretty much what you're saying. Like you gotta do those things and the time that you're feeling the best and do what you do best. Don't fake it. Like don't try to be someone that you're not, and
Don't
don't
try to
force yourself
copy,
to do.
right? Like don't
Don't
copy other
copy
people.
anybody,
Mhm.
because just be you, but at your best, of course. Not be you, the grumpy you, because nobody wants to see that one. But be the best you are, and
Actually, I
I
gotta
think
say,
I think it's
Ricardo,
important to have.
I was gonna say I gotta say though, there was a streamer on DLive. I don't think he's here anymore. That was grumpy. He was grumpy every time he turned the camera on. That's consistency. His thing was,
Oh yeah,
I'm grumpy, and that's what I'm gonna show you guys. And people ate it up. He was one of the most popular channels when he was around. He was doing way
oh
better than
yeah.
I was. You know, like
But he was good being grumpy, right?
right. He was good at
He
it.
was good in that. So yeah, that's the thing. You gotta find out what you're good at. I totally understand that. Like yeah, some people are good being sad, being depressed, talking like about drama. Some people are really good, and you go there, if you wanna cry, and you go and just cry with them. So it's being good too, because I think everyone has like this. So maybe it is. There are people that are good at anything. So your best doesn't mean it's when you're all like happy and
Right.
celebrate things. Maybe your best it's because you gotta communicate. Like you say, it's entertaining, but it's entertaining communicating that thing live. So what you communicate best. So what you like the most, I think is an important thing. Like I have many hobbies: mountain biking, crafting, aquarium, uh, a bunch of things, man. So that's the things I'm gonna talk about on the stream. I'm not gonna talk about something that I don't know much or I don't understand much, but I'm totally there. These times when someone comes about something that I don't understand much, what I'm gonna ask them about that. So we're gonna learn all on the stream together about this stuff, and I'm gonna check on Google and see if I can find something about that. And if it's really interesting, that's a content that we create in that at that moment. We all learning. So there's a
Yeah.
thing like you don't have to lecture people all the time. You can create content as you learn things, and that's very
Hmm.
interesting for you and for everybody on your stream.
Well, actually,
Because I,
one thing I started doing on my channel because of like what you're saying, I realize people they want that interaction. They want to be a part of creating the show. And so I started now every Thursday night. I do Thursday night game night where I play interactive games with the audience. And there's a on my channel in the about section, there's a game night champion wall, right? And if you win, your name goes on the list, and you're the champion for the week.
cool.
Right? Yeah, like and people love that stuff. They love coming every week and it's a big core the same group of people. So now there's these rivalries between even people like in a good way, with the audience. Like,
Yeah,
you beat me last week, you're not going to beat me this week. I've got extra beer, I've got extra water, extra cigarettes. There's no way I'm going to lose. And then when they lose again cuz I've got one champion that just keeps crushing it every week. The next week they still have a good time. They still leave with a smile. I love it. I love it.
yeah. Like normally, because when it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, the channel starts to get empty, right? And so me, Vic, and a couple more friends, we play Scribble. And I thought like, okay, we're gonna play Scribble because now it's the channel is dead already. It's just us. Why not? We just have fun between. But what I realized that every time I check, there's like still 16 people watching, and anyone can join us. Not many people join us, but it's lots of people just watch us drawing and try
Hmm.
guess words, and it's pretty fun because most of the people that is at this time at night are Brazilian, so we have hard times spelling right, you know. So it's pretty funny. So you go too close, but you're missing an S. I don't know. So it's something with Y, and we put I, and it's pretty fun. And it's a silly game. It's a kids game, and but yes, it's very interactive, and people enjoy that. And some people just sometimes, oh, I can't sleep. Are you guys playing Scribble? Yes, yes. I'm gonna get with you
Nice.
guys. And that's I think DLive, the differential for another platform is that you get too much closer to everybody that's around you. Like I say, it's even hard to say follow because it doesn't feel like a follower. It feels just like a friend. My stream feels like a bar. Like I would go every night and talk to my friends. That's what I do here. The difference
Hmm.
that I don't have a hangover and don't spend any. But it's just like a
You
bar,
make
man.
money instead of spend money.
Yeah, it's like my bar, right?
That's right. And you can still drink if you want, and you're home already
Yeah.
safe. Yeah, I love streaming. The thing I've noticed about quite a few of my guests on the show, we tend to be even myself. I like being alone. I like being safe in my space, in my area where I feel comfortable, right? But I can still share myself with the world by live streaming, right? So you're going to get, like you said, you dance on your stream in ways that you wouldn't do in public, right? Same thing with me. I have conversations with people here that I wouldn't have with them in public because I'm in my space and I am safe and I know I'm comfortable and happy here. So I don't mind, right? So it's interesting, if you're a very cautious, quiet, shy person, you may find that when you live stream, you're very animated, very excited, very, very fun, very loud, because you're safe and you're comfortable.
Yeah, here is a way to be alone together, right? Like we
Right,
be alone together. Lots of
right.
people that are alone get together. Like
Yep.
at Christmas, I say, oh, I have nothing to do Christmas, New Year, so I'm gonna stream. And then pop up lots of friends. They say, oh, man, I'm not gonna do nothing, anything. I'll be on your channel. Okay, all right. So almost all my friends that are every night, they say, oh, I'm not gonna do much. Too. I'll probably tune up here in our stream. So we'll be all not alone together. So that's a pretty good thing.
I love that somebody.
Comfortable at home.
I love that Mr. Carlos saved that sticker. You twisting your mustache. Oh, that was nice. Classic.
Yeah,
Classic. All right, guys.
I like
So
that one
we've
too.
been going a couple hours. I just want to open it up for the audience. If there's anybody listening and you have questions that you would like to ask Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez directly, just go ahead and put them into chat. Um, I've asked the questions that I have. Is there anything that you would like to speak about that we haven't covered yet about yourself or live streaming?
Oh man, I think we've been through lots of. Uh, Actually, right now I just need to refill my cup, man. Uh, can you hold 2 seconds? It's a small apartment.
Yeah, no
Not
problem.
gonna
No,
take long.
it's a small apartment. No problem. Me too. I live in a cabin.
Right.
So, guys, if you're listening to this and you're a DLive streamer and you're wondering how to be on the show, it's simple. You go to Discord and you look at author Joe Holt and you send him a message. That's me, and I will respond and we'll get you on the show. The only caveat is that you are a live streamer on DLive, and that's it. The whole idea is to promote the platform of DLive, promote the community of DLive, and promote the individual streamers. So we call this show Fireside Chats because when I started it, there was a brick fireplace behind me. I have now since moved to a cabin, and although you can't see it right there, there's actually an even better fireplace for the cabin for wood burning stoves. But it gets way too hot. Like it'll run me out of this cabin if I put firewood in there. So I don't use that thing. But anyway, that's how we got the name. And let's see, Ricardo. I think if my math is correct, you are the number 45. That's how many shows we've done so far on Fireside Chats. But you are the first show in my new cabin on my new farm, and that's awesome.
It's an honor for me, my friend. It's an honor. I was very like anxious about that because
Hmm.
like I was talking to Vic the other day, and she asked me like, how many people in Brazil speak English? I said, well, that's a good question. I'll check. And I searched for some recent research, and they say like 5% of the population knows something about English, and only 1% of the population can have a conversation. And I was like, oh wow, I'm the 1% right now. I'm kind of Illuminati right now. I'm just waiting they send my check because I'm the 1%. But I was like, cause no, see, it's a very nice thing for a Brazilian guy be invited to be part of a podcast in another language because there's not many people around here that speak another language. And I'm not all the time self-confident about my English. I always think I'm gonna mess up in some way or not gonna understand or people not gonna understand what I'm saying. But
No, you've done a great
I think it's
job
a
today.
good thing.
You've done a great job. I have had no trouble at all understanding you. And I'm an English speaker. I enjoy your podcast or maybe I'm sorry, your shows. Like I feel like you almost do a podcast, right? But your chatting streams. I never have any trouble understanding you ever.
Yeah,
So
I got this, but because like my mother's an excellent Portuguese teacher, so language is always been taken as a very important. So uh, I always see my mistakes in English because I have a good Portuguese. I speak a plain Portuguese, So it's always like the English is never good at, but it's a good thing. It's not gonna. I'm always like afraid it's not gonna work well, but on the good sense, not to like keeping in my mind that I have lots to improve, and I think is an awesome thing because normally people just say, okay, people understand what I say, that's the way to go, and I'll just keep doing it. I don't let myself just get accommodated on that. No, I always try and learn new things. And when someone writes something that I don't know what that means on the chat, I go all about the word and work it out, the many meanings it can have, and how to use that on the same. I use lots of movie lines as well because it gets uh, more human
Mhm.
feeling, right? But also, the one thing I don't care much, it's like to try to make a actual pronunciation like exact, or I will sound like a fucking robot, you know? Like
Mm.
I know most of the time I miss the last letter of each ever word, but I prefer like still having an accent or even make little mistakes, but sounds more natural than
Mhm.
go like 100% very square thing, but doesn't seems like even is a person talking to you. It's just like you talk with like a Google Translator or something like.
Well, something to maybe give you a little more encouragement is maybe only 1% of Brazil can have a conversation in English, but a huge percentage of the world can have a conversation in English. And as a DLive streamer, you are streaming to the world. So your audience,
Yes,
that's the beauty of this platform and of live streaming in general. You take yourself out of your tiny little community and you present yourself to the world. So you
yes,
open
that's right.
yourself. Yeah, it's incredible. Like your audience. I live in Arkansas. I live in the middle of the South in the United States, and you are in Brazil, and here we are having a conversation like we're on the same couch. Right? It's beautiful. I love it.
And also like you say, people from everywhere. I have friends from Italy, from Asia, from French. I'm learning some French because
Nice.
I always want to learn some French, and also French guy, Frenchman, and I always learn something to talk to him on the stream. And yeah, that's awesome because you can keep learning. And I'm trying to. I want to in 1 year be able to hold a conversation in French. Not
Nice.
sure if I'm gonna make it, but
I tried to
I'm
learn
trying little by
French
little.
and Spanish at the same time. That was a terrible idea because I was
Yeah.
getting confused which language was which. The romantic languages tend to cross over, Spanish and Portuguese and French and all these.
Yes. They grammatically, I think the closest language to Portuguese is French, but the vocabulary is very different. So
Hmm.
there's this is a bit tricky. Uh, the grammatical construction of the sentence, they are they're almost the same, but the vocabulary is totally different. And in Spanish, the vocabulary is similar. But even though, like, I don't say I speak Spanish, I understand Spanish very well, but I don't speak that well. Many Brazilians they think they speak Spanish, but they don't, because you. I have flatmates that they from countries that the language is Spanish, and it's not that easy. I even dated a lady from Argentina. It all happened when I was in New Zealand, and it's not that easy. You just think it is because that sounds very similar, but when you gotta communicate, and also when I try speak Spanish, I sound like a cartoon. You know the rabbit on the cartoon that had like a Mexican head. I
Hmm.
sound just like him. I start to get like a high pitched voice and get more and more high pitched. And when I say it's just like a fucking comic car, arriba, arriba.
I know what you're talking about. That's awesome. Oh man. All right. Well, I think we're good. I think we've covered it. How do you feel?
I feel we cover everything, man. It's been over 2 hours, 2 hours, 20
Uh,
minutes.
yeah. That's a great
And that's
show.
the first first ever podcast I ever participated, man. I never been in anybody's stream. I
Hmm.
never had any live conversation with anybody. It's the very first time, dude. I'm
Well,
never gonna
I hope
forget
it
you, you know. But
encourages you to try more because I really enjoy this sort of format where we have that give and take and people others, can be a part of the conversation. It's easier, like you and I are used to being, full screen talking by ourselves, having to carry the full weight of the conversation. And this is nice because you have somebody to help you keep the conversation going.
yeah, yes, it is. Yes, the problem is like my setup. You, as you know, I can use my Discord on the computer.
Mm.
uh, it doesn't work well. So for me, it's easier to be in somebody else's stream. But technically speaking, I cannot bring anybody to mine. But with time and some Bitcoin in the future, I got a better machine. Get it done.
Well, I am glad. I love that you are a part of the DLive family. I think you bring a much needed energy and a very positive attitude towards life and how to live it, and an incredible mustache.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate the compliments, man.
Well, thank you very much for being here today. I really want to say thank you for your time. Like you and I have said a few times on the show today, time is our most important asset and commodity. And I respect you very much, and I appreciate your time. So thank you.
Thank you, too, and thank you for opening up the time on our stream, man. For me, get to know your followers, your friends. As we thank you very much, man. It was very amazing experience being on a podcast. It was great, man.
Absolutely. Well, if you will hold on for just 1 second, I'm going to wrap up the show, and then you and I can talk for a little bit more on Discord off this show.
All right,
Okay, thank
all
you.
right.
All right, I'll be right back with
Cheers.
you. Okay, guys, so that's been another Fireside Chat. I'm author Joe Holt. If you would like to see more of these Fireside Chats, if you do, I'm going to do it for you this time, but exclamation point YouTube in chat. It's going to pull up a link for YouTube. That link will take you to 44 other shows, just like this one with other DLive streamers. I'm going to upload Ricardo's show, so if you missed any of it, you want to watch it again, it'll be available at that link on YouTube later this evening. And I'll also provide Ricardo with the link himself, and you have my permission to use it in any way that you want, sir. So again, this has been Fireside Chat. I'm author Joe Holt. I try to do these at least once a week, but sometimes I do more, sometimes less. It's based on when the streamers are available in their given countries and time zones. So I tend to work with them. But I'd like to thank all of you guys for being here today and for listening to the show. I hope you had a great time. And now what we like to do is go ahead and pass you off to, I'd like to introduce you to another streamer. This gentleman, he's been on Fireside Chats. He's from Ireland. His name is Sean Hawk. I he's he's one of my favorite streamers. He has been for a long time. So let me pass you guys off to Sean, and I'll see you again soon. So aloha for now. Send you love and light wherever you are. Aloha.